Usisahau kusubscribe, like na kubonyeza alama ya kengele.
According to amateur videos shared by residents of the city, M23 rebels are seen patrolling Goma's downtown streets. The allegation of M23 of seizing control comes after hours of gunfire and explosions in the streets of Goma city on Sunday. In a statement, the M23 rebels announced the city's capture minutes before 48-hour deadline expired that had been imposed by the group for the Congolese army to surrender their weapons. The rebels at the same time urged the residents of Goma to remain calm and for members of the Congolese military to assemble at the Central Stadium. DRC's Foreign Minister Kayikomba has accused Rwanda of declaring war by allegedly sponsoring its troops to the country to support the M23 rebels. The hostilities have prompted the reaction of President William Ruto, who doubles up as the chair of East African Community, who has called on regional leaders to help facilitate a peaceful solution to end the conflict in the country. President Ruto has called for an emergency regional summit in 48 hours. United Nations says the hostilities that have lasted the entire weekend have so far claimed the lives of 13 soldiers who are serving with peacekeeping forces. John Kahiro, Lunchtime News.
Streams of displaced families disembark from overcrowded boats. They seek refuge in Zulu camp on the outskirts of Goma. Since M23 rebels took control of the eastern town of Minova, a strategic location on a key supply route to Goma, fighting between the group and the Congolese army has intensified. Some of the displaced with luggage on their backs have been walking for days.
I lived in Minova. When we were told the enemies were approaching, my sister and I fled to Nzulo on foot last Friday. Now the enemy is in Bugulube, and we are fleeing without knowing where we are going, with nowhere to return. Look, my older sister gave birth yesterday. She has a baby, and we don't know what to do.
The already crowded camp has received about 500 people since fighting intensified in Minova, and aid groups are now warning of worsening humanitarian conditions in the camp. But even in Zulu, some families are leaving for fear of the approaching fighting. Some have started packing and moving further away to unknown destinations.
I am very hungry. I left Minova yesterday for Nzulo, but the situation in Nzulo is not good either. So now I am heading somewhere, but I don't know where.
I have decided to live in Nzulo because the M23 is very close. Not far from Nzulo, by the lake, their bombs are reaching us here, so we cannot stay. We are moving forward a little.
The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs described the situation in Minova as tense, estimating that ongoing hostilities had displaced more than 178,000 people since the start of the year. The army has also reported fighting on all fronts. The fall of Minova, located about 25 miles from Goma, raises concerns that the rebels may soon advance towards Goma. The M23 group renewed its fighting in the country's east in 2022. The DRC and the UN have accused neighboring Rwanda of backing the rebels, claims that Rwanda has denied. Caroline B., CGTN.